whatever it was that formulates your that, swept you into a whirlwind and you felt overwhelmed, you might recall overawed. But somehow in the midst of that pain, of that hell, of that horror, of that sick, nauseous feeling, a hand bigger than yours reached into the furnace of your affliction and grabbed your hand was too weak to hold his. See, I need to talk to some folk that realize you ain't reach up and grab God, but God had to reach down and grab you. You were too tired and you were too frustrated and you were too weak, but the grace of God made him reach into your furnace and grab your hand. He reaches down and he grabs you. You thought you'd never smile again, but God. You thought the sun would never shine on your face again, but God. You thought this was the one that was going to take you out. I dare you to turn to your neighbor, help me preach, and say, but God. You thought that laughter was only a memory and smiles would never see you again, but God, who is rich in mercy, stepped into my trial and rescued me. It is that I'm talking about. If you've been through a that's what I'm trying to deal with. Because if you could make it through that, if you could make it through the day when everybody shook their head and said they ain't gonna never be themselves again, if you could get through that season where you wanted to die, where demons of suicide tried to visit you, if you made it through that, then what you're going through right now doesn't have a chance, baby. Touch somebody and say, if I made it through that, I know I'm gonna get through this. Church, say yes. Church, say yes. This is the truth that enabled David to encourage himself at Ziklag. Many people are asked the question, how in the world could David have encouraged himself after his wives had been taken, his children had been snatched, his goods had been stolen, and now the people that were left wanted to stone him? How does one encourage themselves when they find out their spouse is HIV positive and they're not as of yet? How does a person encourage themselves when they got to say goodbye to daddy as cancer is taking him away? How does somebody encourage themselves after that kind of situation? You do it by going back through your resume. You do it by going back and rehearsing everything that God has ever brought you through. Somebody say, tell me what David did. I believe David said, okay, my wives are gone, children gone, okay, stole my stuff, all right, and the people against me, okay, hold on. But my daddy didn't care nothing for me, and I made it through. My brothers couldn't stand me, and every time I tried to do something, they said I was being sneaky, but I made it through. Then one time, keeping my sheep, the lion came up and the bear came up and tried to kill me, but I made it through. Yeah, okay, well that's all right. Then Saul. Let me define David's real that. David's real that was Saul. See, Goliath died with one rock, but Saul chased David for years. Oh, come on, Saul, Jason, Freddie, whoever your name is. That's what David had to deal with, trying to be killed at the dinner table. I don't know if you've ever had family turn against you, but it's a dangerous javelin that gets thrown over chitlins. It's a dangerous javelin that gets thrown at family reunion. It really hurts when somebody whose grocery bill you help pay is now talking. Saul was David's that. Tried to kill him, they said, some 21 separate times. That was David's dad. David said, okay, I done gone through all this. And Saul tried to kill me. He sent, threw the javelin at me at the table. He tried to turn Jonathan against me. He sent his servants to kill me. He tried certain things. Even when I could have killed him, I didn't. But that's okay. And then he kept trying to kill me. So if I can get through that, I can make it through that.